have been out there for so long. But to be honest, my original thought was,
under the bright lights of another high-stakes WNBA game, the atmosphere shifted in an instant. What began as a tightly contested battle transformed into one of the most controversial moments of the season, a collision that has sparked outrage, suspicion, and even whispers of suspension. The central figures of this drama are Bria Hartley and Sophie Cunningham, and the fallout from their clash is proving to be much larger than a single play on the court. It happened in a blur. Cunningham planted her leg to defend. Hartley came barreling in at an awkward angle, and the collision sent Sophie crashing to the floor, clutching her knee in agony. The arena fell silent as trainers rushed to her aid, but the conversation that unfolded wasn't just about the injury, it was about what came next. Cameras caught Hartley looking back with what many described as a smirk, a sinister grin that replayed endlessly across social media. That single expression became the symbol of outrage. Fans froze the frame, circulated it online, and demanded answers. Was this just a freak accident, or was it the calling card of a dirty player? Indiana later confirmed the worst fears. Sophie Cunningham had suffered an MCL tear and was out for the season. A devastating blow for the team, but the focus quickly turned to Hartley, whose lack of visible concern and viral grin painted her as the villain in the eyes of fans and pundits alike.
It's a good question. Honestly, I feel like
Sophie's family wasted no time voicing their fury. Her sister Lindsay blasted the league on X, writing that officials should focus less on fining players for criticizing referees and more on hiring competent officials who can protect athletes. The frustration was raw, and it struck a chord. Many felt her words captured a truth players had been voicing all year. Officiating was inconsistent, and player safety was suffering as a result. That anger only deepened when fans dug deeper into Hartley's history. She already had a reputation: chippy altercations, heated exchanges, even a hair pull incident with Angel Reese. People began connecting the dots. To them, the smirk wasn't just bad timing, it was proof of intent. Clips of her past incidents resurfaced, with critics labeling her the dirtiest player in the league. And then came the smoking gun that seemed to seal the perception. Screenshots
My speed and just my will to win.
What have been kind of your early impressions about both the coaching staff?
Showed that Hartley had liked an Instagram post mocking the idea of her always being at the center of chaos. For fans defending Sophie, this was the final straw, a digital fingerprint of arrogance that they interpreted as Hartley reveling in her role as the league's troublemaker. As outrage boiled over, even Sophie's mother, Paula Cunningham, entered the fray. She bluntly called Hartley disgruntled, mean, and out of control before later deleting her post. But by then, the damage was done. Fans had their narrative. The family's frustration wasn't just emotional, it was confirmation that what they saw in Hartley's reaction wasn't an illusion. They believed Sophie had been targeted, and now the public was demanding that the league take swift and serious action. Meanwhile, Indiana Fever fans woke up furious. Their team wasn't just losing players, they felt they were being assaulted, and officials were letting it slide. Online forums filled with accusations that the Fever had become the victims of repeated dangerous plays, with Hartley and others smiling through the carnage. Commentators fanned the flames, calling Hartley the dirtiest player in the league, insisting that if it quacked like a duck and walked like a duck, then it was a duck. To them, Hartley wasn't just unlucky. She was a menace who needed to be punished. But while fans raged, Indiana's players faced a different reality. They still had a game to finish. With Sophie out and Caitlin Clark unavailable, the Fever seemed destined for a blowout loss. At halftime, they trailed by 21 points, their season looking darker than ever. Yet something remarkable happened. In the locker room, the message was resilience, togetherness, grit. Kelsey Mitchell embodied that message on the floor. She erupted in the second half, scoring 34 of her 38 points after the break and dragging the Fever into one of the most stunning comebacks in franchise.
I think they have great team camaraderie as well. Like, you can feel that when you're out on the court, and
history. Supported by Odyssey Sims's steady playmaking and Aaliyah Boston's dominance in the paint, the Fever clawed back possession by possession until they sealed a 99-93 victory, the largest comeback Indiana had ever recorded. In the shadow of heartbreak, they had found history. But the night's story didn't end with triumph. Off the court, Hartley's behavior raised even more questions. Almost immediately after the smirk clip went viral, her social media accounts went private. Some were deleted altogether. To critics, this wasn't damage control. It was an admission of guilt, a retreat into hiding as whispers of suspension and investigation swirled. Was Hartley about to quit? Was she bracing for the league to hand down punishment? The silence only amplified the speculation. Sophie Cunningham, however, chose a different path. Rather than retreat, she leaned into the spotlight, determined to shape the narrative herself. Her first public response was a blunt message online. F around and find out. It wasn't subtle, and it wasn't soft. Fans interpreted it as a statement of defiance, a warning to critics, and a declaration that she wouldn't be disrespected, injury or not. The post went viral, becoming one of the most talked about statements of the week.
No matter if she starts, no matter if she doesn't get any minutes, she's the same person and shows up every single day.
Yet Sophie didn't stop there. On her podcast, she added nuance that many didn't expect. She defended Hartley, saying she didn't believe there was intent to injure, calling her a friend and insisting she had nothing but love for her. The juxtaposition was striking. While fans vilified Hartley, Sophie herself publicly absolved her of ill intent, shifting the spotlight back to larger issues like officiating standards and player protection. Her words complicated the outrage, but they also demonstrated leadership. She wasn't just letting her family and fans carry the narrative, she was reclaiming it on her own terms. That balance, defiant online, thoughtful on her podcast, showed the kind of resilience Indiana had displayed on the court. Even injured, Sophie turned a painful moment into a rallying cry. By speaking up, she reminded the league and
it's going to be an exciting season. I think more than anything, we're a deep team.
Its fans that her voice couldn't be silenced, even if her season was over. And in doing so, she put the pressure squarely back on the WNBA. The league now faces hard questions. How do they protect players without overreacting to every collision? Should Hartley face suspension for what many call a pattern of dirty play? Or was this simply the unfortunate risk of basketball, amplified by a poorly timed reaction and an unforgiving freeze frame? These aren't easy questions, but the outrage shows they can't be ignored. For Indiana, the night became a tale of two legacies. On one hand, Sophie Cunningham's injury was a devastating blow, her season ending on a collision that will be debated for months. On the other, Kelsey Mitchell and the Fever carved their place into history, proving resilience in the face of adversity. And for Bria Hartley, the fallout may only just be beginning. A viral smirk, private social media accounts, and an avalanche of accusations have left her future uncertain. So now the question turns to you. Was Hartley guilty of a dirty play, or was this just bad luck magnified by perception? Did officials
Every game, regardless, you're making shots, you're not, it feels really, really good to
fail to protect Sophie Cunningham? Or is the outrage unfairly targeting Hartley for her reputation? And most importantly, what should the league do to ensure moments like this don't define their players' careers? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the stories shaping the WNBA season.